Okay, welcome back. This next exercise here, we're going to view and manipulate the default file and directory permissions using the umask variable. So log into your terminal as a regular user for this. And we'll start off with an ls l. And just look at some of the files here. Take notice of everything you're looking at, all the columns. Now let's type umask. And you see the default umask variable is 0022. So now we're going to touch to create a file called utest1. So another ls-l. And notice the permissions. Utest. Now we're going to make a directory. mkdir udir1. There we go. ls-l on this again. And notice those permissions. And now they're different from those. Now we're going to type umask 007, and I can't type umask 007, and let's verify what we did. I type in umask, so I actually say there's a fourth zero there, but you don't need to put the leading zeros in. I just felt like doing 007. Now we're going to touch another file, create one, touch utest2. And ls-l. And see the different permissions. Continuing on with this, we're going to mkdir udir2 and do another lsl, and notice permission differences in the directories. So umask lets you set up default permissions for newly created, folders and files. So anything you create, after you set the default, if you change it, will have the new defaults, as long as it's under that directory. Like the other permissions we were dealing with before, it works the same way, off the same permissions here, and there's these 10 characters here you're dealing with. This tells you it's a directory, and this is read, write, and execute for the user, read and execute for the group, and then if the user doesn't fall into those categories, they get read and execute. And you can see the ones that we did here, the default was read and execute. After we changed it, any user that doesn't fall in the user or the group, they get no permissions on a directory. And the file, you can see there's a difference here. You get a read only and a read right here, and then other users get nothing, but by default they will get read. So basically the difference between chmod and umask is umask sets the defaults and chmod changes for existing. I'm not gonna get too far into this. All right, for this next exercise here, we're going to view and set special permissions on files and directories. So log in your terminal as a regular user here. And first thing we're going to do is create a file. Touch We'll call it special file. We'll do an ls-l on it. Let's just do it on the file itself. All right, so we have permission so far. So now we're gonna use chmod to change some stuff up. Chmod 4777 special file. And we can arrow up to do an LSL on special file. And we see these permissions now. It sets the permissions so that the user, the owner, can read, write, and execute, as well as the group and others. Group and others. Now we're going to do chmod 677. 7. And special file. Arrow up LSL on special file. So notice we have an S here instead of X. It refers to a sticky bit. These aren't used too much, but this means that the files or directories can only be deleted by the owner or root. Normally we would just type chmod 777 and special file, ls-l on this special file again. And it just says read, write, and execute now. It's no sticky bit. That means this group, the others, can also delete this file. And it shows it in red here on opensuse, but I don't know if it will on other distributions. I don't work with it too much, so probably not. So we'll continue on a little bit here, and we're going to do a chmod 6444 and special file. LSL on a special file, and that's what that'll look like, the 444 instead of 777. So this is all dealing with the permissions that we've been covering so far. And now we're going to bring up another terminal. Here, make this bigger. And change the root. Incorrect. Now we're going to make their public. And we're going to do chmod 1777 on public. Next, we're going to make a file. Touch / public root file. And now we can minimize this and go back to our regular user. And we'll touch public user one file. Do an ls-l on public. And we see that sticky bits are not on the files, but they are on the folder. You see this is a file owned by root, and this is the one owned by some dude. So now we're going to try and remove the one created by root. And we'll try the one we just created first. rm ls/l/public, and the one we just created we get rid of because we were the owners. So now we're going to try it with root. And remove protected regular empty file. Nope, not permitted. And you can see the permissions won't let us do that. All right, so that's just touching base on some special permissions and how to use them. Probably do a little bit more on this when we do users and groups later on. But that'll wrap this video up for now.